Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll help the channel out and it'll get you more videos like this. Let's get to it. Our first one comes from Why Our Mom Sucks. Am I the beehole for going against my parents' wishes of going to a prestigious school instead of going to the school that gave me the most money? Hi everyone. For context, I, an 18-year-old female, got into University of Virginia and the College of William and Mary, UVA, one of my top schools for the longest time because I thought it was prestigious. And it was a pretty good for business, since it's what I'm majoring in. However, I applied to other schools that I would go to besides UVA. In case I had gotten rejected, I mainly applied to schools within my state and nearby states. I got into UVA, and that was exciting. On the contrary, the price tag was not attractive. I would have to pay tens of thousands of dollars per year to go to UVA. On the other hand, I got accepted to W&M with a full ride and a research grant, which would look very good to graduate schools and potential jobs. Additionally, I would get the newest dorms available because I got a specific research grant. I told my parents of my options, and they still want me to go to UVA because it's better for business. My parents said not to worry about the money, but I do not want to be financially tied to them because they might take away my tuition or have control over my life since they're quite religious and conservative. I toured both campuses and honestly liked W&M better because it was less busy compared to UVA, and no student debt. Also, everyone was more helpful and friendly to me at W&M when I toured, and the tour was actually led by someone, whereas UVA's tour was self-led. Overall, I just like the feeling of W&M better. Now my parents are very disappointed in me for choosing W&M and are trying to get me to change my decision. They are saying that I am selfish, careless, and too young to be making major life decisions. I bet you they wouldn't say you were too young to make those life decisions if you agreed with them. Just saying. However, I asked all of my counselors, teachers, and my smartest peers, and just about everyone that said they would choose W&M, given my decisions. I tried to explain to my parents that undergrad does not matter. True, it does not matter. And that I'll go to business school anyways after college/university. They are still on their firm decision, because they are immigrants who worked hard to give me the best possibilities, and to take the largest opportunity, which is UVA. They say money isn't a problem, but I am not comfortable with that decision. They keep sending me statistics about UVA's ranked higher and all of that, and the guilt trip of trying to get me to change my mind. They've been crying non-stop about my decision. I haven't committed yet. But honestly, I think they just want bragging rights that I go to UVA. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like they're not thinking about you. But back to the story. So, Reddit. Am I the beehole for choosing to go to my choice of university/college over my parents' preferences? Any help would be appreciated because they won't support me anymore, and I'll be disowned if I go through with my decision. Jeez. Thank you. Edit. Thank you for all of your support. It means a lot going through such a stressful time. To answer some questions, I will be majoring in business with a concentration in finance. I also double major with either statistics or math. Oh man, you sound crazy smart, alright. I plan to get an internship or job after college and have work experience and eventually get my MBA, hopefully. So, the cost of UVA for 4 years is about 80K plus, whew. And W&M have no loans attached to it either. Everything will be paid for my scholarship or grants. Also, W&M accept more of my AP credits. Of that helps too. Additionally, we are South Asian. Oh, that explains it. I don't want to come off as, some kind of but there's stereotypes. Like, I have my own too about my melanin in my skin, and some of that's true. And you usually hear that about, Asian parents wanting to be like, oh, my kid goes to this prestigious school so they can show off. They like to gloat. I've seen it. It happens. I'm not saying it's just Asians. Parents, everybody wants to gloat about their kids, but it sounds like they're not being good parents. They should prioritize what you want and what's best for you. And I pretty much did the same thing. Well, not the same thing, but I went to 2-year first, got the grant, and the grant covered all of my expenses, and I still had a nice chunk of change left over, which I saved, and that got me to buy a nice little car. I bought a desktop, which I really needed, you know, going through school. You need the computer for classes. And places don't really give a crap about your school. It's mostly who you know, your skill, your talent. And it sounds like you're still going to a good school. You're getting a full ride, you get the money for the research, you get the nice dorms. I'm sorry, but the whatever it is the better deal. Like, this is a no-brainer. But your back is against the wall too about your parents trying to disown you. That's some messed up stuff. But if your question is which one you should go to the one that's the full ride. You go where you're wanted, not where you're tolerated. All right? So, I don't know how it's going to play out with your parents, but they're going to need to get over it. Man, I know if this was my parents, they'd be like, "Take the full ride, get all the cool stuff." And it, you're like you said, undergrad doesn't matter. That's not yes when you're supposed to like cultivate money and save and this is such an obvious answer for me. Go with the full ride, not the beehole. Our next one comes from Straight Lime 2605. Am I the beehole for not wanting to eat my mother's leftovers at a buffet? Me, an 18-year-old male. My mom likes inviting me and my older sister, who lives on her own, out to eat at a Chinese food buffet once or twice a year. For context, my mom and sister both are a bit overweight and I am thinner. My mom has a habit of loading everything she sees at the buffet on her plate because she wants to taste everything. Then she usually finds that she doesn't like some stuff, although she put a lot on her plate at once or gets too full to finish it. Huh, I wonder why she's larger than you. I used to do that at buffets and I was a little fat back in the days. And now, you know, I go plate by plate. If I'm still hungry, I keep going. I get it, it's a buffet, you want to get your money's worth. But I also don't believe in being wasteful. Back to the story. Since I was young, she would always put her food she didn't finish on my plate and tell me to finish it, since I'm young and skinny, and I'll be fine. That you're young and skinny doesn't mean anything, your stomach has a limit, but back to it. Last time we went, I actually ate too much and felt sick after, so I decided to eat less this time. Good, you're supposed to do that. I have that problem too where I overeat or eat with my eyes and I feel like crap. I'm still having to catch myself putting too much things on my plate when, you know, I'm trying to eat. Right when we went to pick our food, my mom was looking at what I was grabbing and said, "Why wasn't I taking more? It's not worth the price if I don't take as much as I can." I said if I was still hungry, I could get more, but she already seemed annoyed. Then we ate. I finished what was on my plate and didn't want to go for a second round. I feel I had enough. My mom argued with me for 5 minutes, telling me to go with her to get more food. Damn, man, what is up with your mom? Or else, it's not going to feel like a family meal. I tried politely telling her I don't want to eat anymore. My sister was silent through all of that. Finally, they went to go get more food, and my mom came back with another full plate. As I expected, she finished less than half of the second plate she got. She said she didn't want more because she still wants to get dessert, and told me to have the rest. I declined and said I was full and she shouldn't have to load up her plate so much. She got very mad at this, and said I was embarrassing her, and to just eat it because I've always ate more before, and I was just trying to embarrass her. She said everyone at the restaurant was staring at us. Because I started the argument, apparently, and I was making her look like a fat pig by not eating more, and said she didn't know why I was doing this because she was so nicely getting us a nice meal. I told her then I'd paid for my own food, if she's that upset, and she said I was being cruel and manipulative. Pot meat kettle, am I right? And she didn't know why I had such an attitude problem today. Pot meat kettle again. Anyway, she finally saw I didn't want to dig through her leftovers and gave up and got some cake and ice cream, jeez man, for dessert. She didn't talk to me for the rest of the day. Later, after my sister left, she sent me a text saying I was being very selfish. What do you mean you're being selfish? How about she eats the food? And ruined our family outing. And I should have just done what my mom wanted to keep the peace and remember she might not be around much longer. My mom is in her early 50s. Please get out of her. 50s is still young. You're gonna be fine. So, what do you think? Was I in the wrong on this? Hi, OP. No, you were not in the wrong. And plus, I want to touch on that point because I've said some stuff before. Everyone's looking at you in the restaurant. No one is looking. If anyone's looking, it's because she's making a scene out of this by arguing with you for 5 minutes. I know when I'm at a restaurant, I don't care what others are doing. I'm focused on my food. The only way I look away from my food is if I'm talking to someone I'm at the restaurant with, or, something happens to catch my attention. Loud noise, lights, you know what I mean? Stuff you're gonna instinctively turn your head towards. Someone screaming at the top of their lungs at their child to eat the food, And this is a bit abusive. She's over here manipulating you. I think she hates that you're not fat like her and your sister, and she's trying to fatten you up like that. And it's a buffet. She's so wasteful. I do what you do now. When I was a kid, I'm not gonna lie, I acted like her when I was a kid and loaded up my plate with everything. But I did try to finish it all, which was not the best thing to do. It's not good to overeat like that. It's a horrible feeling. The last time I did that is when I got all you can eat sushi and I was like, I'm getting my money's worth. And that backfired. I couldn't move my midsection the whole day because of the rice. Sorry, but back to you. I believe you handled that very well. I like your little counter where it's like, all right, I'll just pay for it myself. You're not gonna use money to control me like that. Your sister is a straight up B. Like, she should know that your mom is manipulating. Oh, keep the peace. Screw that. Think about your health. You can only engorge yourself so many times before it starts to do damage, or you know what I mean? If I were you, it sounds like this is a habit of hers. I would just not come to this dinner anymore. If she's gonna make a scene and throw a tantrum like a child and engorge herself and waste food and just act disgusting and slovenly. OP, you are not the beehole. I would just stop going to those meals. And our final one comes from Sticky Keyboard 8155. Sticky keyboard, why is your keyboard so sticky? I know why. That's gross. Clean your keyboard. But back to it. Am I the beehole for cleaning my sister's ant-infested room? I was invited into my sister's room to play a game. Upon entering, I find that her room is in squalor. The windowsill has crumbs and hair everywhere, and there's a Dunkin' Donuts wrapper on her nightstand with about 50 ants going at it. It somehow doesn't faze her. I get the vacuum, Clorox, and start vacuuming them up, but they're just reappearing out of nowhere. She's just staring at me, in the process telling me about how I wouldn't like it if she tried to clean my room. She proceeded to go downstairs and got my father to kick me out of her room. I was so angry and looked at her in the face and said, "It's not my fault you're a nasty weirdo who likes to live with ants in squalor, and this is how people end up on TLC." And now she won't speak to me, and she is hiding in her ant-infested room. This is a rental, not our home. I know that I probably went too far telling her that, but I cannot comprehend how my dad is just letting this go on, especially as he's a very clean person. Yeah, this is weird, because this is a mess, like a nasty mess, because I'm a little messy, but it's not with food. When I finish my food in my room, or any room, once I get up, I take the plate with me, wash it, put it away. You know what I mean? It's not that hard. My mess is more like some clothes on the floor every once in a while, but that is nasty. She's living gross. And yeah, that's how you get ants and cockroaches and rats and all those, unsightly creatures and critters crawling in your home. I don't know what's going on with your dad either. Like, if that was my parents when I was growing up, they would say clean your room or they'd beat my arse, you know what I mean? And I like how she's complaining about you cleaning up her room. That'd be great to have someone clean my place for free. That'd be awesome. I wouldn't be complaining. You gotta pay for that, right? That's gold mine, jackpot. You get your nasty room clean and you don't have to lift a finger. She's ooped, like, I'll tell you that. OP, you are not the beehole. And I was gonna tell you to just let her live in squalor, but it's gonna affect you. Those bugs might make their way to your bathroom to take a drink of water from the bathtub. That's not fun, trying to go take a shower and fighting a cockroach. You know what I mean? Nobody wants that. I had to do that back when we were in apartments or condos or whatever they were. And while we were a clean family, the people next to us were nasty. And those walls are real thin, and that's how roaches got in. So, you know what I mean? It's gonna probably affect you eventually if she's getting ants. Let's hope it's just ants. But OP, no, you are not the beehole. Thank you for making it to the end of the video with me. And can you please do what I said in the beginning? And like, comment, and subscribe. It really and truly does help the channel out. It helps it grow, and it helps you get more videos like this. Velvet out.